Why did Bulgaria lose so much land? Is there a reason why Bulgaria lost so much land? Bulgaria is a small country located in the Balkans that has undergone numerous transformations ever since it gained its independence in the year 1878. Bulgaria, in contrast to the majority of countries, frequently acquired and lost the same regions without any consolidation throughout its history. Which brings up the issue that is rather self-explanatory. Why, during the course of its history, why has Bulgaria lost such a significant amount of land? It was in the year 1878 that modern Bulgaria came into existence, following a series of uprisings throughout the Balkan region against the Ottoman rule that was in place at the time. The Ottomans and the Russians went to war as a result of this, and to put it gently, the Russians emerged victorious out of the conflict. However, they were aware that they could not just seize as much Ottoman land as they desired, because doing so would prompt the other powers that had interests in the region to become agitated. A deft compromise was therefore devised by the leadership of the Russian Federation. They would only receive a little portion of the land that belonged to the Ottoman Empire, and the majority of the territorial gains would instead be given to Bulgaria, who is Russia's new ally. The Treaty of San Stefano stipulated that the future semi-independent Bulgaria would have this appearance. This was the agreement that was reached. It was the goal of the Russians that Bulgaria would soon become a client state of theirs, and that it would lease its ports to Russian warships. This would provide Bulgaria with access to the Mediterranean without the need to negotiate with the Ottomans any time they wished to leave the Black Sea. Knowing that the other great powers saw through this, and swiftly asked that the new Bulgaria be restructured in a way that would maintain the balance of power, is not something that will come as a surprise to you. Since Russia didn't really have much of a choice, Bulgaria was forced to accept this as the only option. Its prince was also granted permission to reign over this province of the Ottoman Empire, Rumelia, shortly after that. On the other hand, many Bulgarian leaders had witnessed what Bulgaria had the potential to become, and as a result, they desired to be that. In the year 1885, Bulgaria joined forces with Rumelia, and 7 years later, in 1908, it declared its independence as a kingdom under the rule of Tsar Ferdinand I. Ferdinand's sole objective was to reconstruct a more expansive Bulgaria. And there was only one way to accomplish this, and that was to ask in a kind manner. There is also war. And gosh, was there going to be a lot of fighting in the future? The first time this occurred was in 1912, when these countries, despite having a long-standing animosity toward one another, chose to work together in order to expel the Ottomans from the Balkans. The Ottoman Empire suffered a significant defeat in this conflict, which was known as the First Balkan War. As a result, these territories were taken by Bulgaria. Naturally, this lifted the spirits of the Bulgarian people. Therefore, it was definitely going to continue that this military winning streak would hold. The leadership of Bulgaria came to the conclusion that it had not been provided with sufficient resources during the last war, and that not only Greece but also Serbia were clinging to territories that were not theirs. Following the conclusion of the First Balkan War, Bulgarian troops launched an assault on Serbia and Greece 2 months after the conflict had concluded. The situation did not go according to plan, and as Bulgarian forces became stalled, Rumelia took advantage of the situation by marching south with little resistance facing them. When the Ottomans once again detected a weakness, they attacked from the south. The fact that the Bulgarians had lost a war on 4 fronts meant that they had little hope of winning. As a result of the peace negotiations, the Bulgarians handed over these territories to Serbia, Rumelia, Greece, and the Ottomans, which had a significant negative impact on the public sentiment in Bulgaria. Because nobody knew when the next chance to reclaim these territories would come along, it was impossible to speculate. Fortunately for Ferdinand, it is not Franz Ferdinand who is the individual in question. These regions had been given to Bulgaria by Serbia, and when Bulgaria was at its peak, it continued to grow to this extent. As a result, 20 years later, while the Second World War was still going on, the Bulgarians joined the Axis forces. The Bulgarians were able to acquire all of these territories throughout the course of the conflict, and they maintained control of them until they were defeated by the Red Army. In the aftermath of the war, Bulgaria lost all of its gains, with the exception of the southern region of Dobruja. Because both Bulgaria and Rumelia were members of the Axis powers, Bulgaria was granted permission to keep the land that it had taken from Rumelia. As a result of this, Bulgaria was able to preserve these borders, which it continues to possess to this day. Thank you for following this video. I invite you to subscribe to this channel to keep up to date with the next super interesting videos that will be released. Leave a like and a comment below, also with requests on what topics you would like me to talk about. See you in the next video.